So a few years ago, I was living a good life and working out, having a good time, doing all the things. I was eating what I was eating. I would work out, do whatever. I had lost a lot of weight after college because when you go to college as HBCU, every week and every weekend is fried chicken day and ham hock day and whatever, right? They got all kind of crazy stuff down to the cafe, and we was eating just that, all the little crazy stuff. So of course the crazy stuff showed itself over time. So I gained a lot of weight. So once I graduated, I actually lost a lot of weight. All natural. I didn't have anything. I didn't try anything. I just walked every day for like 8 months. I kid you not, I didn't lose a single pound for 8 months. And then all of a sudden, one day, after the 8 month and like third day, I lost some weight. Like all the weight started flying away. But I just know that that's my body. Like I'm the type of person that it just takes me a longer time to lose weight. It doesn't matter if I change every single thing about my diet, every single thing about the movement I'm doing. It still takes my body a really long time to let go of whatever weight it's holding on to. So that's just my journey. That's my struggle. Um, so everything was cool. I kept the weight off for 10 years. 10 years. They normally say about 6 or 7 years is when it all starts coming back, but maybe 10 years is what it took for anything to show itself. So all of a sudden, I hadn't changed a thing. I hadn't done anything different. I started gaining ridiculous weight again, and I had never seen that in that way. I hadn't eaten anything different. I really don't eat out that much. I don't drink any sodas, anything like that, right? Everything was constant. And I was gaining a bunch of weight. So, of course, I had gone to my OB and she was like, "Oh, you need to change your diet." And I was like, "Girl, my diet's not changed." She's like, "Well, you're getting older. So your body changes." And I was like, "She is right about that. I am getting older. So I definitely need to like figure that out." So I got a dietitian. We changed everything, right? I went mainly Mediterranean diet, which definitely helped. I didn't know at the time, but I definitely had a lot of disordered eating. And I think a lot of people have disordered eating. They just may not realize that they have it because I just feel like the way we're taught to eat, especially as women, is just poor. It's just a bad way to teach people how to eat and how to enjoy food, how to get nourishment, all those things. So essentially, of course, when I lost a lot of weight, I was sitting there on like a 1,200 calorie diet, right? I trained myself to be on a 1,200 calorie diet. Now, eventually, what you learn is your body cannot sustain that. So you ruin your metabolism. You definitely ruin your health wholeheartedly. So the dietitian did teach me, like, hey, girl, you're not eating enough. So your body is in this like starvation mode where it's literally not going to make you lose any weight because it needs food, needs fuel. And the things are changing in your body. So you need more calories, actually, especially if you work out. And I do. And you do all the things, you kind of eat a natural diet, it shouldn't be that way. So she bumped me up to like, I think she was saying I'm supposed to eat 2,200 calories, but I was not there mentally and physically to be able to eat that many calories. I still had a disordered eating brain. So I couldn't think to eat that much without it triggering me in some kind of way and making me spiral out of control and getting me back into a disordered eating or eating disorder essentially. So she was like, let's bump it up to 1,600. So let's try 1,600. Let's see if we can get you there. So I struggled, fought to get 1,600. So at some point I was consistently eating 1,600 and I was losing no weight at all whatsoever. Still working out. I changed the diet to Mediterranean, was eating like all whole foods, had cut out a lot of gluten, things like that, right? Wasn't seeing improvements here. I wasn't seeing improvements here. Couldn't see the scale go down. Couldn't see the scale go down at all, but it was all good. So she was like, hey, I think, and this was probably like 8 months in. So we had been working together for a really long time. She was like, hey, I think you should go and get tested for PCOS. So I went to go get tested for PCOS. And when you do that, they do a blood test. They test you for androgens, estrogen. And I got the wand uterus ultrasound. So they stick a wand up your hootie hoo and they search around to see if you have cysts on your ovaries. So I actually came out with 12 cysts on my ovaries. My androgen levels were ridiculous, estrogen levels were ridiculous, and I had all the symptoms of facial hair growing all over the place. And that was really one of my concerns too. Like, where's this facial hair coming from? I've never had to pick this much hair off my chin. So like every day I'm like picking more and more stuff. I might have a full beard by the end of the year. if I'm not constantly picking, obviously that ruins your skin as well. I started getting acne all over my face. Like my entire face started breaking out in like the most ridiculous ways. So at that point, I was seeing my dermatologist, I was seeing an OBG, I was seeing my dietitian, like every doctor you can think of, I was trying to come see because I thought it was something I was doing. So unfortunately, that doctor was like, well, it could be PCOS, but you get a period. So I can't say that it's PCOS. So because I actually get a period, now mind you, my period is always long. So I normally have anywhere from a 6 to 7 day period. It's very heavy. But she was very convinced, and I don't know if it was her personal thoughts or what, but she was convinced that because I got a period, that disqualifies me from having PCOS. So for her saying that I had PCOS, again, everything else was marked off, checked off, and she didn't want to claim it. So it was very odd. I went back kind of defeated back to my dietitian. She was like, yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. Let's figure out what we can do diet wise now that we at least know your estrogen is off, progesterones, androgens, all those things are off. So let's see what we can do holistically to fix some of those things. Let's figure out, what vitamins we can use, all those types of things. So after some time, I started feeling better, but I wasn't just completely myself. I definitely wasn't better. Was not losing that much weight. So recently I found a doctor. She's an endocrinologist. And again, my dietitian, again, she's from heaven. She told me you need to go and find an endocrinologist because she'll really test you for like real things. She'll do hormone testing, all those things. She was just like, at the time, she didn't think it was that serious. But now that I've not had as much support and help from my actual doctor, she's like, let's find one more. So we found this doctor I think she's in McKinney, Texas, I think. Um, Dr. Ali, she's an endocrinologist. And I get there, and again, I'm defeated, right? I'm a Black woman. I have fought every single battle you can fight in the healthcare system. I'm always at the doctor. I spend all my money at the doctor. I have the LIGO. I've had this. I had that. And I got this fake PCOS or like diet PCOS, a light diagnosis. And I get there and she's like, no, ma'am, you have PCOS. And again, I hadn't taken a test. I hadn't done a this, done a that. She read my charts. She heard my symptoms and she said, based off past charts and your symptoms current, that is PCOS. And let me be clear, she did say it is now PMOS. And I do know it's PMOS. I got the news. Everybody got the news. Hooray for a different do for day, right? Like, we're excited about the name change, which is odd because it took out needing cysts on your ovaries for being like one of the qualifying things. And I did have cysts. So crazy enough, even though I think this is going to be a win for a lot of women, like I'm pretty sure there are women that have PCOS and they couldn't get diagnosed because they don't have cysts on their ovaries. I didn't get diagnosed because I actually get a period, and they're used to women that just can't get a period and can't reproduce. I have no intentions to reproduce. Like, I don't want children. So it was never my concern, like, oh, I want to get my period. So much of PMOS, PCOS doctoring is more about making sure women can get pregnant. I don't want to be pregnant. I have no desire to do that. So they don't really know what to say or do at that point besides like, here's some birth control. No, that doesn't do nothing for me. It does nothing. It absolutely, I will never get on another birth control in my life. When I was 16 years old, I got on birth control. It ruined my life. I took, within 2 years, I was on 5 different birth controls. That's how many birth controls they were trying to figure out to give me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do my best on my test. I have made it thus far. No birth control, no kids, no nothing. I'm good. Okay. Fuck birth control. If you need it, if you love it, go for it. I'm good on birth control. It does nothing for me. And I think it does just mask a lot of things. And it also has a lot of bad negative consequences. I personally feel that way. Again, if you love birth control and you advocate for it, I am not a doctor. So do what you and your doctor feel is best. But I just know that wasn't the answer for me. But I'm also feeling so validated because even this new endocrinologist was like, yeah, people definitely throw birth control in there and it can be beneficial, but there are so many side effects that it doesn't give you desired results in other areas of your life. Duh, that's what I was saying. So I was like, yeah. In my head, I was like, yeah, girl, yeah, it's trash. And she was like, no, I don't think it's the worst thing, but it definitely doesn't solve the problem, which is what my point was. It doesn't solve the problem. So she ordered new labs and she was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you your urine test. She said she gonna give me a urine test, y'all. So for my urine test, I gotta pee in this for like 24 hours. I have to go to the bathroom in this for 24 hours. Oh, the only pee I can pee. Anytime I go to the bathroom, I gotta fill this up. but I will say this is insane. It's definitely crazy to have to do this. It's crazy to have to fill this little bad boy up with my own urine. They gave me a hat. If you know what this is disgusting. But it's gonna be a test for my cortisol levels. I have never had a single doctor test me for my cortisol levels. So even if nothing comes back, and it's really like, again, it's very difficult to get things done and changed for PCOS, PMOS. It's hard to get testing because some of the tests are like based off your cycle and when was your last period and this. And if you have PCOS, you already know your cycle not regular. So when am I gonna tell you was the right time? So thankfully, I am going to do a urine test to see what my cortisol levels are, to see if I need like hormone therapy, anything like that. So I'm actually really excited about where I'm at right now with this new doctor. I hope it goes well. Again, she was so nice, and I found out that she was actually one of the few doctors that were marching to Washington to get the administration to listen to women, to get all the regulators to understand what we're going through. They just don't care about women's health. But she's one of the doctors that's actually advocating for us to get what we need from this. So I am so happy I found her. We found her like off ZocDoc, which is insane. Fantastic. Now she is pretty far away from me. It takes me like an hour to get there, but I don't care. I done drove to hell and back to get doctor care. I will go anywhere. I've spent all my money on this, and I will keep spending money on this because I'm a fighter, right? I'm gonna be a healthy girl. I'm gonna live a good life, and if I gotta fight to the end, I'll fight to the end. They're gonna have to see me in my grave site. You feel me? So I'm excited about the test. I don't actually do the urine test for another week. But they gave me all the stuff to do it. But I gotta do a urine test for my cortisol level. So we'll see how that goes.